Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. So the King is trying to make sure that everybody is on notice. That man is putting in work 5 hours early before tip off, showing up to get some shots up, to get some work in, to make sure that he's ready. He's locked in for Game 6, man. I hope it translates to his body being able to do what it is that he wants it to do. Because at the end of the day, it's not. I don't think it's all about him not putting in enough work or anything like that. If anything, it's just about his body reacting and his foot reacting well to what he's trying to have it do, in my opinion. But I'm not a doctor. At the end of the day, I like the effort, and if I appreciate the effort, and I want others to follow. And let's win this game. He knows he's played some of his worst basketball, over these past couple of weeks. He did have a big game in this series, but I mean, it's been very, very bad for LeBron's standards, and people have kind of been hush about it, and they're not really trying to kill him about it. But it's bad, man. So, we know that he's determined, and this is one of the most important games of his career, obviously. Game 6 in the first round, where if he doesn't get rid of this team, they may have bragging rights on him in a situation where they've been disrespectful. So, you don't want this in the history books in regards to your name. And it's just too close for comfort at this point. I thought we should have took care of him in Game 5. I thought we didn't do the best we could, but nevertheless, we threw out there what we did, and it gave us what we got, and now we got a Game 6 opportunity at home, and I think it's a positive energy that I'm sensing around Laker Nation. People think we're going to close this thing out. I hope I'm wrong with my initial thought that we were going to probably struggle tonight, but with Anthony Davis having had a good game in the last one, I think that could carry over in a very, very positive way. And I'm hopeful we've seen the last of 14-point Anthony Davis. And so, with Bron struggling in the last couple of games, I hope we've seen the last of 5 turnover, 1 for 9 Bron too. But, I think Bron will pick his spots. He's just got to figure out how he wants to approach these basketball games and understand that a lot of what he does wrong does really translate to buckets for the other team a lot of times, transition buckets. So let's not turn the ball over. Let's not have technical circumstances that require them to take the ball from us. So that's really what it comes down to. Focus, 48 minutes plus overtime if necessary, and let's close this young team out. We respect their opponent, their personnel. We know what they have, so we know they know us as well. My hope is that Darvin has implemented some changes into his second unit specifically that we think may be necessary. And if we do see those changes, my fingers are crossed that they will be successful and not a detriment to ultimately what we're trying to do. Because when you implement new things in the last minute, it can go wrong. But this is the playoffs, so this is something you need to be able to do if you're going to be successful in the playoffs. So we got the personnel. And I'm curious to see how we're going to use Vanderbilt specifically. Usually when he has a good start to the game, it usually translates to the team playing well. But he's so hit or miss. It's either he really contributes or he's really, really taken from you offensively specifically. And so defensively, he always does a fantastic job hounding the fastest player. And I think that's why it's so important that Darvin start him. But at the same time, in starting him, you got to make sure that you have him in rotations that allow him to succeed. And more so than that, just making sure you're not asking him to do too much on the offensive end. I know it's tempting to get him the ball because he's open, but, he's open for a reason. I think that's kind of one of those situations. He can hit the shot, but that's not something we should be looking for him to just do. And so I think we've been, over the last couple of games, been looking to him to kind of get off to a good start for our team. It's almost like we're looking for him to start the offense. And I just don't understand that at all. And then it's almost like we then shift toward the second unit where we immediately try to get Malik Beasley shots up. And I just think that's a horrible strategy as well. So these are things that I've been complaining about. But I really think kind of just need to stop if we're going to have any success. Maybe we focus in on players who can really do it for us, and we know who they are. So let's use those guys. And also, more than anything else, let's just be mindful that the other team is coming with a certain level of urgency that we need to match. This is Game 6 of the first round, you understand? And they're the team with their backs against the wall. So if ever there was a moment to show up and be ready, show up and have urgency, show up and be your best, it's now. You know, we've worked all season long to get to this point. It's been a very long season at that, and really the cushion that we've earned in this round after not having home court is rather impressive if you consider it. We have a chance to close it out on our home court, and we didn't have home court advantage, so you know we did something right in this series thus far. We have gotten 3 wins against this team to their 2, and that means that the odds are still in our favor. So can we please go out there and act like it, play like we have the advantages that we do? That's my ask for this team. I just want us to get it right the first time, you know, when it pertains to starting out the game properly, and keeping an eye on each quarter, winning every quarter, because at the end of the day, we do have third quarter issues. We have had fourth quarter issues. We've had second quarter issues. Every quarter in every game has been a thing. We've had at least one quarter where we need to focus specifically on them attacking us. So if we ain't figured out that they are a very, very good quarter starting team, then dang it, we ain't been paying attention for 6 games. So they start quarters well, and we need to be careful not to allow Ja Morant to have his way during long stretches at a time. Same with Bane, just the same. We just have to be more mindful of what they got. Now, if Luke Kennard's not going to be out there, I do expect for them to kind of dip into their bench a little bit. Maybe that means more minutes for what's the guy's name? Goodness, my mind is gone blank. But their power forward that they use very often, Saldama. I'd imagine they're just going to continue to kind of spread out minutes toward him. I don't expect we'll see some of their young players since they haven't used them thus far. But you know, Jones is obviously going to be on the floor a lot, and Bane and those guys, they're just going to lean on them more if Kennard can't go. That does affect how we defend him a little bit, considering how much of a threat he is from behind the arc. So I wonder how that translates into what we do if he does not play. And, you know, I don't know that he's not going. From what I understand, he's a game time decision, GTD. So, yeah, that's a very important variable, making sure that we keep account of him if he is down there, because this could be a game where, even though his shoulder's hurting, they kind of lean on him for his stretching the floor ability. And if he's hot, boy, it can be a long night for the Lakers if others are hot with him. So, yeah, I'm looking for us to try to throw a lot at Bane. That's what I'm thinking. He's been cooking us these last couple of games, and I think we could do something something about it. I'm pretty sure we could take Vando and throw him on him a little more, or do something other than what we've done there. So maybe even consider putting an extra man on him in certain situations, because when it really comes down to it, if he's able to maneuver like he's been able to maneuver, and Ja continues to do that as well, that doesn't bode well for us. We do have some disadvantages guarding them with the guard spot, particularly D'Angelo Russell trying to guard Ja Morant. I just think we need to be a bit more detail-oriented as pertains to what we will allow to happen defensively out there from man to man. You know, if we're not going to be running certain zones out there, it probably would be wise to not put certain lineups on the floor that cannot defend. You know, that's all I got to say about that, man. And, you know, also a lot was said about stagnant offense. We've talked about it at length last year particularly, and we've seen some of it in these playoffs after not really seeing any of it mostly in the regular season this year with Darvin. But we seem to have started up some ISO-centric, stand around offensive type stuff. It just needs to stop. We need guys to create more movement within every play, I think. It just makes for a better us. Even if we want guys to line up in certain positions, we got to have more going on than just people standing in spots. It just does not work for the LA Lakers. And so just like small ball, stand-around offense is just as annoying to this fan base after watching Vogel have that on the floor a good portion of the time last year. Stand around and watch as one guy takes the ball off the dribble rather slowly and jacks up a 25-footer that they try to rebound, but oftentimes doesn't get rebounded by us anyway, because we were small. So it was just like, why are we trying to get in the half court if we have absolutely no chance of rebounding the ball? Anyway, whatever, man. Point is, I'm glad we're past that, but unfortunately, we're still doing some of that kind of stuff now, and least of all in the dang playoffs. So can we get some more motion going on in our offense? Because if we don't, I'm pretty sure that it's going to result the same way in the last game it did, and it did not work out for us, to say the least. We had trouble scoring the ball. So, yeah. Anthony Davis cannot be the end-all, be-all to our roster, man. I cannot believe how inept our roster has looked over these last 2 days without Anthony Davis on the floor. It doesn't have to be like that at all, man. Ever. You know, the funny thing is, you can take any team in the history of the sport and dumb them down by just putting people out of position and throwing them all down. I can make the 96 Bulls look trash just by putting people in the wrong position and just doing it consistently, and your team will never win. You know what I'm saying? Like, bring Michael Jordan off the bench, render him to 20 minutes a game. Like, there are things you can always do to just make your team lesser than what it is. So when you assess the Lakers, you got to understand that that's what we're doing to our team, essentially. I mean, it's not that exaggerated, but that's kind of what I see, man. It's just like we just do stuff that isn't necessarily conducive to being able to match up properly or even lean into the strength of the players that we're using. And so that's why people think it's quote unquote stupid or mindless or doesn't really necessarily have much to it other than something that doesn't really add up to us. So that's really what I'm trying to say. I think the LA Lakers are more than capable as a roster of winning this basketball game. That's why I initially chose the Lakers in 6 when I first started talking about this series. But I also said I thought the Lakers were going out in the first round. I also said I think the Lakers are losing this game tonight. So it's all kinds of different stuff that I've talked about in regards to this series. And at the end of the day, I don't really know because these two teams are very flawed. And I don't really know if I have faith in either coach, as I've mentioned very much. I did going into this series in regards to Taylor Jenkins, but now that I'm seeing what he's running this year, I don't recognize what I'm seeing there. And I'm thankful, definitely thankful. I don't want it to change. If anything, I'd like to see some of the adjustments that he made in game 2 not come back around because that was a very difficult game for us to overcome. And, these are different things that I just know that the Lakers have to be ready for. Different things that they tried that did work, maybe them trying again. And so, I don't know, man. Overall, it's a mystery to me what I think I'll see from this team tonight. I don't know. It could be a blowout either way. It could be a tight game. It could be a double overtime. It could just be a 10-point win either way. I don't know. I have no idea because these teams are all over the place. But the one thing that's been constant as of late is that Desmond Bane has found his way and that Ja Morant's hand probably isn't really hurting anymore. He's probably 100% right now. And so I think the Kennard injury really throws a monkey wrench in what they're doing. And so if he doesn't go, that really helps us, man. Foul trouble. Hopefully we can do a little something about getting Jaren Jackson in foul trouble tonight. I would love to see him foul out at least one of these games. Since he's so infamous for being a terrible fouler, I mean, he's been just playing all the way through. Can we do something about that? And so, that's what it is, man. I know one thing's for sure. If we do win this series, I'm pretty sure Anthony Davis will be very happy we're done with these dudes. The problem is he's running into a very good version of Draymond Green right now, man. In fact, they are playing as we speak, so I'm probably going to end this video very soon to go check out the Warriors. But, at the end of the day, the defenses that were coming at him in this series could be coming at him in the next series if the Warriors do, in fact, clinch. And we do, in fact, clinch as well. So, it is what it is. We'll see what the Lakers do. I hope I'm wrong about this game tonight. I hope that some of the things that I see positively, like Anthony Davis going off and the possibility of us making some positive roster changes that will make for better rotations. Hopefully, if those things manifest in ways that are much better than what we've seen, then, hey, the Lakers should be able to flex. This roster is going to get it done. But We just got to make sure we get the most out of our guys, and that's really what we need to see. Our bench needs to, when they do play, try to be better on the floor. We can't just blame the rotations you're in. You got to contribute when you're down there. You got to help one another. Stuff like that, play for one another, all these different things, cliche things that really do translate to y'all running plays that make some damn sense out there, and not taking bad shots and throwing the ball out of bounds and doing all the different things that don't help the team. It's very important that our role players get back into this series, because with a minus 26 here, minus 20 there, minus 25 there, I mean, we cannot possibly succeed if we're getting nothing from our second unit and other unit roster, whatever. We can't do that, man. You know, we cannot win that way. And so that's really what I'm trying to roundabout say. It's just, if we can't get something out of guys other than LeBron James, Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, and Anthony Davis, if those are the only people who are actually contributing, then we're definitely not winning. That's just what it is, man. So these guys are home now, anxiety arena, as I often call it. You know, I want these guys to step up, man. Step up and finish this thing at home. Act like you got some pride in regards to how these dudes have been talking, and respect the need for rest, especially since we got Bron playing center in this series. And for goodness sakes, can we please get away from that? Because if we don't, we're going to wear that man down, and he ain't going to be around for some of these rounds. We're going to want to play more basketball. And if you got him playing center, you know, the injuries are just going to be right around the corner, man. We've seen this movie before. This is not a new process. So, you know, I just wanted to come back around and give us some extra energy in regards to this game. I'm feeling a bit better than I was this morning when I was going at it. And, you know, it has been a long season. We have had a lot of conversations, and I just haven't been myself in this round. But, you know, when we're really locked in, the thing that we always try to make sure we do is just work on our tendencies, as we always say. And in this series, we've turned the ball over pretty much more than them every game. And that needs to change tonight if we're going to win this basketball game. So I want the turnovers to come down. I think our field goals have been iffy, but they have a really good defense, so we're not as worried about our shooting numbers as it pertains to who we are versus what it is they're doing to us defensively. We respect that. But the defensive numbers need to get back up to where it was when we were winning earlier in the series, man. We were blocking 11 shots, getting 7 steals. If we're not looking to turn defense into offense, we're a losing basketball club. So that's really what I know about this particular series. Forget just the fact that that's who we are in general, but in this series particularly, that's our best way to score. And hopefully we can get Rui Hachimura back into what it is that we are doing in a heavier way. 21 minutes, he's just not enough of a sample size for that guy, and he needs to be one of our regular scorers. I don't know why we haven't given him more, not less. So that part is really iffy in regards to what I think coach may be looking at versus what it is I think I see down there. I know there's more to life than just being a perfect shooter or a perfect scorer. So if a guy's going 3 for 3, that doesn't necessarily mean he isn't botching things on the defensive end and stuff like that, or maybe not, you know, in the right position for certain things, obviously. But at the end of the day, when you have a situation where you're having trouble scoring, it's hard to justify sitting a guy who hasn't missed a shot. And so these are the type of things you just don't, you know, you want to believe that there's some smarter reason for why this would happen. But even so, you look at it and say, there has to be a better way. There has to be a better way. And so that's just what it is, man. Yeah, go Lakers, man. What can I say? Go Lakers. There's nothing to really complain about. We are in game 6 of the first round. So we made the playoffs. We're here. We got the home court. This is our game, the big stage. Obviously, we expect players to play well, and we expect some guys to choke. Maybe some guys on our own team, hopefully not, but this is the big stage. This is anxiety arena, and so we do need to be cognizant of that. And we also want our fans to show up because they've been great in this series thus far, and because of it, I think it's contributed a great deal to the 2 wins that we have at home. So if we make it 3, we've won the series, you know, and that's the beauty of taking care of road wins on, you know, early in the series. So kudos to the Lakers for winning that first game. You know, we could think about that and see that is the reason why we're in this position right now. And look at what we did when we got it. We played well. We played defense. We blocked shots. We respected size. And we got lucky because Ja went down with the hand. So that's also part of how we won game 1. But yeah, man, I'm excited about this game. I really am. I'm more fired up about it than I was this morning. It's just when you feel deflated at the end of the day when you got personal stuff going on top of the fact that you're seeing the team run stuff that you don't believe in, and it doesn't work. It's just a compounding of different things that made for a grumpy BDF 44 this go round. But I'm feeling good right now. I'm feeling positive about the team as it pertains to rooting us on from living in the moment. This ain't no regular season game. You know what I mean? This ain't us versus the Pistons. We got a game against the Grizzlies for something meaningful, and we are still only what is it? 13 games, if my math is correct. 13 games away from an NBA championship. 13 wins rather. Got to get the W specifically. So, why would I not feel good about that when the roster is confident, or rather, the roster is as talented as I believe this one is? You know, I don't see any matchups that I think this team can't really defeat, you know, and so it just has to be used properly. That's why I keep kind of hesitating, because it can defeat anybody, but if only used properly, you know, we get the best out of it. And so that's what I got to say. Hopefully Darvin Ham will give us something that'll make us feel like he's progressing in these playoffs and getting the type of experience in these first couple of games that'll help him in this 6th game here. Progression when you're a rookie is always something that everyone wants to see. And so Darvin needs to understand that if he's going to be stubborn about anything, he's being judged from within a rookie lens. And it's probably not going to hit the same as if a guy who's been a coach for 8 or 9 years does something, you know, especially if it yields the wrong results. So this is what my mindset was this morning. It's like, save yourself, more or less, Darvin. Run stuff that makes sense. But bigger picture is we got to seize the moment. We got to realize we're in the playoffs. We got to realize that LeBron James is in year 20, and we may not even be in the playoffs next year. We don't know what could happen. We think we're good enough to do something, but we really know that the Western Conference is only getting better. You don't know where Wembanyama may land. These type of things can shift how many spots are available for whatever it is that you're going to be good enough to be. It may not be good enough to win 43 games to make the playoffs anymore. You know, these 50 games, whatever. It may take more. And so as I look at that type of thing, I say, let's just seize the moment. Let's just be here right now. Teams who haven't, you know, haven't gotten the cachet or respect are proving themselves to be better than they were initially thought to be. You look at where Miami's at right now. You know what I mean? You got to think about that. Why can't we overcome just like they are? We're the 7th seed. We were in the play-in tournament. Can't we win? Can't we beat this team here? Since we've already gotten them 3 times, one more time and finish them off and do the upset. I think we can. Heck, we're not actually underdogs, but technically we are. And so it should be something we celebrate if we're able to close this team out, especially if we do it in demonstrative fashion. If we can do it with some energy about ourselves behind our crowd, really do it. You know, let's not let down the LA crowd tonight by playing bad and rotating improperly. Let's put some stuff on the floor that we can be proud of tonight. And I think if you do, you'll see even more support. You know, you'll see new Laker fans falling in love with this team, because these are the moments that happens. These are playoffs. And so I hope that the Lakers can make some great memories for some new Laker fans out there. Salute the Kobe minute, because he gave me plenty of playoff moments, plenty of game 6s. He closed teams out. They didn't have a whole lot of game 7s during Kobe's tenure, because he would have a good game 6 in a good portion of the time. So I have no doubt that our Lakers are going to continue to pass that torch on and continue to have great game 6 tonight, and hopefully make me look like a clown for ever doubting them, because that's what I'm hopeful I'll be able to say when I get back on this camera later on today, talking about the LA Lakers 17 NBA championships. Hopefully we can make it 18. We got the personnel to do it. It's just whether or not Darvin Ham will allow us the freedom to lean on the strengths of our players. And if his system will allow for that, I'm confident that this team is a pretty good team to bet on at that point. BDF 44. I thank you all for watching. Out.